So just to recap, we were talking about 5 areas of knowing, and we were talking about thinking or thinking as our information center, as our emotions, which we're talking about tonight, feelings as our emotional center, our intuition, which we looked at last week, as our emotionless and thoughtless, but a gut sense, inner knowing. And then there's our historic knowing. We filter our knowing through our life story. In our soul, we carry our whole life story. And we are constantly reflecting our current experience through our life story. And that's giving us a sense of what is happening. And so each of us will have a different story, and we'll experience something through that story. It's almost like a filter or a spotlight that shines on what's happening. So depending on our past, we'll experience something differently because we'll interpret it via our past experiences. And then equally, some of us, there's an area of knowing which is our future, which is effectively our future story, our becoming, and that also is a filter. What hope do we have? What future do we have? What promise do we have? Are we depressed? What's tomorrow like? And depending on how tomorrow is, will be today. Depending on how yesterday is, will be today. So there are lots of places of awareness that feed into our current experience, which is why each of us experience everything so differently, because we bring our own experience, our own interpretation, our own reality, and shine it on the current experience and interpret it through our own lens. The problem with these 5 areas of knowing is that we tend to major in 1 or 2, and that's not bad, but in majoring we tend to discount the others. And thinking, or our mind, is a typical one, because we've had so much education to shape our mind that our mind thinks it knows everything, and if it doesn't know, if it doesn't understand, it can't be true, or it can't be real, or it can't be important. So the mind tends to discount other forms of knowing, even emotions. It says, well, if you can do without them, rather get rid of them. And I've heard people often say, I don't do emotions, I just think, as if that's now free or clever. But actually it's like reducing your ability to know by 90%, because this is the smallest area. They say you use 10% of your brain to think. Well, the other 90% is located here. And if you only use 10%, well, that's what you get. So intuitive knowing, soul knowing, spirit knowing, emotional knowing is much broader. When you sit with somebody and you feel your feelings, you can feel their feelings, and you can reflect on what's happening if you're aware. If you're not, you just feel a feeling, react to it and do something, walk away or start talking too much. You don't actually discern what's actually happening. But we feel each other's feelings. We feel each other's feelings. If we're just aware, and you'll notice these are my feelings, these aren't my feelings. Maybe they're Marcus's feelings. If we're just aware.